Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my new show, Standing O. And by the way, that's theater lingo, in case you don't know. A standing O means a standing ovation. My name is Budd Mervyn, and I am a New York City theater critic at large. By the time you finish watching all of my shows, you'll feel like you're an insider. You'll understand all these complicated words. There's going to be a lot of surprises in this show for you. And let me tell you a little about myself. First, my mother first took me to the theater in 1946 to see the perfect, the brilliant Ethel Merman in Annie, Get Your Gun. I was a very small child. I won't tell you how old I was. You figure it out. Anyway, ever since that time, I've been a huge lover of the theater and show business. And I knew that that's what I wanted to involve myself in for the rest of my life. I knew I was no actor. I knew I was no choreographer. I knew I was no prosthetic. Every week, I'll bring to you a review of a new show on or off Broadway. And we'll get to that in a second. We'll get to it right now. Because Rodney is telling me we have to, okay, this is not theater lingo. This is film gestures, shall we? And so when you go like that, the director, because he can't talk. He can't talk. He goes like that, means hurry up. And that's what Rodney, my nephew, is telling me right now. Like, hey, Uncle Bud, quit talking. Quit yammering. You always yammer. It's not Sunday dinner. My nephew Rodney really wanted to be an actor since the time he was a small boy, but he didn't get he didn't achieve much success. And in fact, a couple of months ago, he was rejected for the fourth time from the Actors Studio, run by he's dead now, but it's Lee Strasberg's Actors Studio, and they don't want Rodney. He's directing. Ladies and gentlemen, he's directing. He's running the camera. He's doing the lighting, such as it is. He's doing the lighting, the camera. He's doing everything. He did the credits. He's going to help with... I don't know if we're going to have music, but we're hoping to. The show I'm reviewing this week is a wonderful show at the aptly named American Airlines Theater. It's produced by the Roundabout Theater Company, very, very big theater company in New York City. They do many wonderful plays a year. And this one is called The Big Knife. The Big Knife by the iconic Clifford Odets. And I love this play. It was a great production. It takes place in the 40s in Hollywood, California, Beverly Hills, California. And it's about a very famous movie star. I need a new prescription and I can't quite see. It was played by Bobby Cannavale. We'll get to him in His name is Charlie Castle. The famous Charlie Castle is his name. And he's played by the wonderful actor Bobby Cannavale. You may know that name because he was on stage a couple of years ago in a shockingly brilliant play called, I can't say it on the air, Mother, like the Hat. Can't say that, right, Rodney? And so he was fabulous, and he plays a famous actor who gets into a bit of hot water. And I won't tell you the plot. I won't tell you too much. I won't give anything away. But it involved booze, a floozy, and a car. You figure it out. Anyway, everybody goes crazy about this. His wife knows it, and the head of the studio knows. The head of the studio is played by the fabulous Richard Kind, who's one of my favorite character actors of all time on stage and film. And Richard Kind, if you don't know that name, he was on Curb Your Enthusiasm, I know that, but he was even better in a movie by the Coen brothers called A Serious Man. He plays a boil-wielding brother of the lead character. He spends the entire movie almost draining a cyst on the back of his neck. And ladies and gentlemen, it's riveting. This is a wonderful play about the sins of Hollywood and what can happen to you if you sell your soul to the devil. That's what I got out of it. I always get something out of these plays. I always get something. That's why we go to the theater, because we get something out of them. Sometimes you go to South Pacific, and you know what you get out of that? The desire to tap dance. I get dry throat. I strongly suggest you go see this at the aptly named American Airlines Theater, and see Bobby Cannavale, Richard Kind, and a fabulous actress named Marin Ireland, like the country. She's good too. Everybody's good. It's good. Now, I'm going to break away from the theater a minute and answer a question that I'm going to do this every week because so many people have questions for me. I've heard some people say to me, oh, I hear them in front of the Brooks Atkinson say, oh, look, there goes the mayor of Broadway, Budd Mervyn. So I randomly took a question from my email mailbox, and the question is, Bud, have you ever been married? And the answer is yes, ladies and gentlemen. I am proud, dismayed, and ashamed. All these things. I am proud, ashamed, dismayed, and happy to report that I have been married 4 times in my life. The first time I was married to a school teacher. Enough said. Second time I was married to a very, very famous actress. You would know her name, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, you would. You would know her name. But I am not allowed to say her name out loud. The lawyer told me that. I can't, but you figure it out. The third wife was a train driver for the New York City subway system. She usually drove the 2-3 train, if you want to know. And that was an abrupt end to that marriage. And my fourth wife I am still married to, I won't, out of privacy concerns, I won't tell you anything about her. She'd rather remain anonymous. She doesn't want me to say much about her. I mean, she said, Bud, about you, your life, and what you do, for God's sake, leave me out of it. For the last segment of the show, I'm going to, it's my own idea. This is a lightning rod review of one-word reviews for plays. These plays can be on Broadway, they can be off Broadway, they could be plays you saw years ago. Everything's up for grabs, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know. It's random. It's all random, and that's what makes it and theater exciting. That it's live and random. This week, my one-word review for the show is How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, which I think is a very funny title of a show. It's always been funny since it first opened on Broadway in the 1950-something. Had a revival a couple of years ago, and with Daniel Radcliffe. He's a short fellow and very talented. He could sing. Who would have thought he could sing and dance after all those Harry Potters? My one-word review for How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. See if you could say that fast 3 times. Hogwarts. That's it for this week, ladies and gentlemen. And may all your engagements have a standing O. I'm Budd Mervyn. I'm Budd Mervyn signing off, and may all your engagements have a standing O.